Hello everyone, I'm going to take you really quick through the CAP testing environment. You will be taking a science CAP test and a social studies CAP test, and some of you will only be taking one or the other. So this is the sign-in screen that you will see. You'll end up entering your username and password, which will be provided for you. After you enter that, you will click sign in. You will look through the information on the screen to make sure it is accurate based off of the test you'll be taking that day. And then you'll go ahead and hit continue. And then you will select the test that you are taking that day. Let's say I'm taking the science test. Then you'll get instructions on the screen. These instructions will be read to you by the proctor, and you'll be able to read along with them on the screen. They'll actually take you through all the different tools, which is what I'm going to review with you right now in a little bit more depth. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and click begin here. Since this is a tutorial, these are not the actual questions, but it will give me the opportunity to show you how to use these different tools here. So on the test here, first thing you'll notice is that on many of the questions you'll have the wording of the question on the left-hand side of the screen, and possibly the answer choices on the right-hand side of the screen. If you want the left-hand side of the screen to be able to show more information, maybe so that you don't have to scroll, there is a scroll bar here, so maybe you don't want to have to scroll as much. You do have these arrow keys here. So if I click this arrow key, it moves the answer choices all the way over to the side, which expands the left-hand side of the window. And then up here on the top, you'll see there's a right-hand arrow key, which will bring this back over. So it's possible that you might want to move that left to right. There's also a scroll bar on the bottom that allows you to scroll across the page if there is a need to scroll there. Okay. Some of the tools that you can use during the test, you will have a highlighter tool, so you can make highlights as you're reading. You'll have this ABC line here, and all this does is allow you to guide your reading as you're going down the page so you don't lose your spot. The question mark allows you to bring up the original directions on the page. The A with a cross out allows you to start crossing out answer choices to eliminate ones that you know are not valid choices. You are able to, right next to the problem number, flag a question, which will allow you to come back to that question. Maybe you didn't answer that question right off the bat, and you're going to come back to it, so you can flag it so that you know you need to come back to it. You can also, there's a piece of paper next to that, and on the piece of paper you're able to type yourself some notes that you can then come back and answer this question later and have a reminder for yourself of what your thinking was on that question. Okay. On the bottom of the page, you'll notice there's a green dot here. That just shows that you're connected to the internet and the internet is working correctly. The pause button will let you pause the test to maybe go to the bathroom or whatnot. You do have the arrow keys, the big arrow keys here, which allows you to move back and forth between questions. So if I hit the right-hand arrow key, you can see I went to problem number 2. If I hit the left arrow key, I go back to problem number 1, the one I was just on. Okay. So looking at the questions here, if you go ahead and answer a question, it'll fill in the bubble for you. Again, you still have all the tools available here. Let me show you a different type of question. You might have a different type of question. This is a matching question. So if I click on one space, now it's going to let me connect that to which answer choice it goes with, since it's matching. Okay, so this is pretty intuitive. Should make sense to you guys. So you just click and connect 2 dots. Okay, so you might have some questions like that. This looks like this is a straightforward question, just a quick answer, the short question, 4 answer choices. And again, you do have all these tools available to you, so you can go ahead and cross out some answer choices. And maybe I'm not going to answer this question either. So for now, I'm just going to move on to the next question. Here, this is a put a check in all the correct boxes. So maybe I put a check here, check over here. If I go and put a check next under living tree, you'll see it'll flip-flop the check mark. So this particular question, you can't have 2 check marks for the same entry. So as soon as you click the opposite one, it unchecks the first one. Okay. And now I've answered all 5 of the questions in the demo, so I can't go any further. I could go back, but if you notice all the way on the far right, there is a review button. At the end of your test, when you click the review button, you'll get to see a summary page here. It'll tell you how many questions you have unanswered at the top, and it'll show you question by question which ones you have questions answered for and which ones you don't have answers for. And the ones you don't have answers, if you go ahead and click the answer, it will jump you straight to the question, and you can see we still have where we had eliminated a couple answer choices. So now you can just go back and answer that particular question. Once you do that, you could go back and hit the review button. Now you can see on your review screen you only have one more unanswered question, and you also on that question have a bookmark along with a note on that question. So if you click any of those, it'll take you right back, and if you want to see what your note says, you can click your note, and there's the note that I left for myself. So now I look at what answer choices I had left, I look at my note, and I go and make my final answer choice. I hit review. Everything's answered, so now I'm ready to go ahead and hit submit, because now I've answered everything, so the submit button is now active. So I hit submit. It says once you submit, you're not able to go back. Okay, are you sure you're ready to score your test? You click OK. And again, prompts you one more time just to make sure you're set. And when you're done, it says your test is completed. Okay, and that's all there will be to it. Okay, so some of you will be taking a science and a social studies on 2 different days, and some of you will only be taking one or the other.